this computer. All right. We'll wait a couple minutes and let folks in, but yeah. So you are missing a little bit of class though today, huh?
Just a little bit.
Well, hopefully you're getting something out of this kind of stuff too. So
it's better learning experience than school.
well, I hope that's a good thing. I also want to talk a little bit about Illinois Reading Night tonight, so we'll talk a little bit about that as well. So, yeah. Hey, Chris, I'm going to go ahead and let them in, just so you know. And maybe we'll get started as folks are signing up. Well, good afternoon, folks. As you start coming in, we're excited to have you. My name is Kevin Darty. I'm with the Ag in the Classroom program here in Illinois, and we're excited today to have Natalie Pratt. Natalie Pratt is joining us from Lee County in Northern Illinois, so welcome. We do have a popcorn poll. We'll launch that poll as well, and you can start with that. We'll wait a couple minutes as folks come in, but teachers, if you do have questions throughout, we encourage you to use the chat feature. Please make sure you tell us where you're from, what school you're from, and what grade level you're at. We'll make sure we give a shout out and answer the question appropriately. So again, give us a couple minutes to let some folks in as we investigate Illinois popcorn and Bubba Bug popcorn. So give us a couple minutes and we'll get going. And again, folks, good afternoon. We're glad that you could join us. We'll wait just a couple more minutes to let some more people in. We're excited today to be joined by Natalie Pratt. She's the CEO, the CFO, and the chief hard worker as well of Bubba Bug Popcorn. And we're going to talk a little bit of Illinois state snack and popcorn. So take the poll and give us just a minute or two to get ready for our virtual field trip today to Lee County and Bubba Bug Popcorn. And Natalie, I don't think you can see the poll questions. Can you see the poll questions?
Yeah, I can.
Oh, all right. So I wanted to read them out loud, but you can see them. Cool. I don't think you can answer them, though. I didn't enable that. And that's another button, and I might screw it up, so I probably won't do that. All right, folks. Well, welcome. My name is Kevin Darty. I'm with the Illinois Ag in the Classroom program, and we're here today joined with Natalie Pratt. Natalie is an 8th grader in Lee County, Illinois at Amboy Junior High School. So Natalie's correct, right, Natalie? Yeah, okay. The Amboy Junior High School up in Lee County, north central Illinois. And she's here today to talk us a little bit about popcorn and her own popcorn business and what she does. So we'll get started. Teachers, if you have questions, please use the chat feature. Tell us what your grade level is and where you're from to kind of give us a little sense of where people are joining us across the state. Let's go ahead and talk about our poll questions. I'll end this now and we'll see what you did. And our first question was, how much popcorn do Americans eat every year? Well, you were close, but it's actually 17 billion quarts. That's still a lot. Some of you are a little high. Our next question, which state produces the most popcorn? Which state produces the most popcorn? Nobody got this one. Nebraska. Nebraska produces more popcorn. So, Natalie, what did you think?
I said Nebraska.
Oh, you did? Cool. All right. A lot of people said Indiana and Illinois. That's the gimme. But Indiana is also known for its popcorn. In fact, Orville Redenbacher popcorn is based out of Indiana. Indiana grows a lot of popcorn as well, but those corn huskers husk popcorn too out in Nebraska. And finally, when did popcorn become the official state snack food of Illinois? 2003. So all of our elementary school participants, it's older than you are, that's for sure. So those were the guesses, and we'll see where you're at. But what we're going to do today to start off with is, first off, Natalie, would you tell us just a little bit about yourself? Introduce yourself to our audience today.
Sure. So my name is Natalie Pratt. I'm in 8th grade. I'm 13. I live in Amboy, Illinois. It's up northern Illinois, kind of by Dixon, if you know where that is. And I run my own business with my brother called Bubba Bug Popcorn. So it's called that because my brother's nickname is always Bubba, and my nickname was always Bug. So we just put it together and we got Bubba Bug Popcorn. We've been doing it for 7 years, I think. 8 years. This is our 8th year since my brother was 7 and I was 5. I'm now 13 and my brother is 15. So it's been a pretty long time. So yeah.
And why get out there and start a popcorn business? What was the reason for that?
Well, when we were younger, we wanted to do like a lemonade stand to raise some money for toys on the side of our road. But we live on a pretty empty country road, so I don't think that my mom thought it was a pretty good idea to let us do this. So we grew, we did what our family does best, which is farm. So we started growing Bubba Bug Popcorn, and it just kind of escalated from just selling it on my mom's Facebook page to now having our own website and being a business.
Perfect. Well, let's get started. We got some questions coming in. We'll get to those. I think some of these are going to be answered actually during the video presentation. So if you direct your attention to the screen, folks, what we're going to do is we've got a short video Natalie has put together. Not only is she a popcorn enthusiast, not only is she a farmer, but she also has learned how to make a lot of videos during the pandemic and what's going on. So if you direct your attention to the video, we're going to see an overview of what popcorn is and where it comes from.
Welcome back to Grand Prairie Farms. Today we'll be talking about how we grow Bubba Bug Popcorn. Popcorn is a specialty crop. Specialty crops defined in law are things like fruits, tree nuts, floriculture, horticulture, and of course, popcorn. It takes about 90 to 120 days for popcorn to germinate, or to go from something like this to something like this. So let's do a little recap of how we got there. Starts with seeds. But before we plant the seeds, we need to get the ground ready. Using a rototiller is a great way to break up the top layer of hard soil to get to the softer soil underneath. After planting the first layer of seeds, you might find that you need to do a replant.
So right now we are replanting some of our popcorn. So right now we have the white holeless popcorn, and I'm just going to take a couple seeds in my hand and do a little bit little part right in a row.
After making sure that you are going to have a solid, full crop like this one, you let it grow. As you drive by fields these days, you might notice how tall corn crops have gotten. For example, a good, healthy popcorn stalk like this is roughly 180 inches tall. For example, I'm 64 inches tall. Now, that's a pretty tall piece of popcorn. But why exactly do corn crops grow up? Well, like we learned in photosynthesis, the sun for plants is like food, so they want to grow up to reach the sun. Now, for the smaller amount of popcorn that I grow on our farm, we don't have a big machine combine to do the work for us. We have to harvest it all by hand. Take a look. After a section of our popcorn is harvested, it's time to go home and get it ready to sell.
You need to get the kernels off of the cob, so we have something called a popcorn sheller. You put the cob in a hole at the front, and as you crank it, it's grinded through these two big wheels with spikes, separating through the kernel and the cob. A big thing with most crops is the moisture level. If your popcorn is too wet, then it won't pop and it will get moldy. So to make sure that my popcorn is dry enough, I use this custom-made popcorn dryer. You pour the popcorn on the screen and turn on the fan. The air will circulate up, drying the popcorn as it releases itself through the screen. After about 24 hours, you can switch out the popcorn that's already on the screen for a new pot of wet popcorn. Now comes one of the most important parts of the popcorn process, the packaging. In one bag of Bubba Bug popcorn is about 2 cups of popcorn seeds. And just like that, your Bubba Bug popcorn is now ready to be packaged and shipped.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing that, Natalie. I got a couple questions before we get going here. I gotta stop sharing. So stop share. There we go. The first part, you on the screen itself, you had some popcorn that looked like what everyone might be used to when you popcorn at home. It was the individual shelled kernels. But some of your popcorn you were drying and you left it on the cob. Tell us a little bit about how you market and what your popcorn is like. I see you might even have an example or two.
Yeah. So at Bubba Bug Popcorn, we grow 3 different types of popcorn. We have our most popular, which is shelled white holeless popcorn. So this is the kind of popcorn that you would find buttered and in those bags that you buy at Walmart. But instead at Bubba Bug, it's not buttered or salted and it's all hand done. So this is our most popular. And then we also have rainbow popcorn, which is what you saw on the dryer. So rainbow popcorn comes in many different colors. It's kind of like Indian corn, if you've ever seen it, except it's popcorn. And our last one, which we've sold out of, is strawberry popcorn. So it's just the color red like a strawberry, and it's shaped in a little triangle like a strawberry, except it doesn't taste like strawberry, so don't get your hopes up. So when we dry popcorn, like you saw in the dryer, we will put our white holeless popcorn that after we've shelled it on there individually in the kernels, and then we will put, if our rainbow and strawberry popcorn aren't dry yet, we'll just put that right on the sheller or on spikes, which I didn't show, which is just a long board with nails poked through it, and you can just push the popcorn right on there so it stands up straight and it won't get moldy and it'll dry.
Right. Now, when you were processing your popcorn, lots of steps to it. So first you grew it, then you dried it, then you got it off the shell, got it off the cob, and you were shelling it. You were packaging it, and you put 2 cups in. You were wearing headphones. Is that because it's a really noisy job, or what was up with the headphones?
No, it's just, and I've been doing this for 7 years, so it's kind of become second nature. So I just put my headphones on, listen to my music, and get the job done.
That's it. So it wasn't that it's noisy, and we talked a little bit about that a couple of other times with folks and your trips to the farm. So I got a question here from Bobin School in Chicago. The kernels are made out of popcorn. It's just that's any kind of popcorn you get. But where do you get the seeds from? That's a great question from our fourth graders at Bobin School in Chicago. Where do you get your seed from for your popcorn?
We actually order the seeds. So we just buy them off of like a magazine, I think. That's how we found it, which is kind of coincidental, is how we started it, because we were just looking through a magazine and we thought it was cool. So we've always gone back, and it just comes in little seed bags. So you order them, and yeah, so it's done special with the seeds.
And is all of your popcorn hand planted and hand tended? Do you use the tractor and the planter for any of it?
No, not really for any of the steps. Yeah, not really. They don't do, the people that, or we farm the land, but they don't sorry, I'm stuttering. They don't do anything, like they don't spray it, or they don't combine it with the harvester like you saw. So it's a all hand done job with this popcorn.
Now, it's interesting to know that your brother is now 15, and he's taken a more active role on the farm. He helps out your dad, your uncles, that kind of stuff. So he's very much so an integral part of the farm. How much work does he do in Bubba Bug now?
Well, actually, he's a sophomore in high school now. So this year, but I just start off by saying he has, like, his job is, he has his own acreage on our farm. He is a farmer and a part of Grand Prairie Farms. So he took a step back from Bubba Bug Popcorn this year to focus on his job and his school, because it's high school. There's a lot of stuff going on. So this year, of course, he still helps because the whole family helps with Bubba Bug. But he didn't do as much as he would have done in the years before, because he just took a step back to focus on his job, which is still farming.
Understood. Yeah. And can't really write him out, because Bubba Bug sounds a lot better than just Bug Popcorn. I don't know if Bug Popcorn would be a very good marketing tool there. Got another question about how long does it take for you to harvest your popcorn by hand?
Well, it depends on it just depends on the weather. When we were doing it, when I showed it in the video, it was the most windy day of the year. So everything was blowing around. It was cold. So you just kind of, maybe 2 weeks. If you go out there, you set a timer, and you just kind of got to do it. Harvesting has to be one of my least favorite parts. It's very long process, but if you just get it done, you can get it done in about 3 weeks to get it all harvested.
And for our audience out there, Natalie actually had this video ready a couple weeks ago. So your harvest actually happened back in October. We just were booked up with other field trips talking about things. And with all the changes going on in schools, we booked you for this week. So your harvest has been done now. So your harvest is done. You've got your product already out there. Basically, you're done now. You just sit back. Is there anything you're doing with the popcorn business now?
Actually, not really. We sold out about a week ago of our entire popcorn crop, or most of it. So that's cool. It was a mediocre season with what we planted. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. Or it wasn't great, but it wasn't horrible. So we just, guess, I didn't know if people liked it that much, but we put it on the website, and it just kind of went fast. So Bubba Bug Popcorn is done right now. So
that's a good problem to have. You'd rather have no inventory left on the shelves than have a bunch extra that you were worth. How many acres? This is a question from Altamont Lutheran School, our fourth graders down in Altamont. Altamont's in Effingham County, Natalie, so it's in southeastern Illinois, south central Illinois. But it is on the east side of the state on I-57 as you're headed down. But they ask, how long does it take to plant an acre of popcorn, especially by hand, and how much do you actually plant? How many acres of popcorn do you guys plant?
Well, we only plant about a little less than 1 acre of popcorn. Well, 1 acre of popcorn is about the size of a football field. So we plant a little less than that. And of course, it's all done by hand, so we can't plant a whole field of it. That would take a very long time. But so it 4 hours maybe we just get out there in the morning. Morning's probably the best time. The soil's not hard yet and it hasn't started raining yet. So you get out there, you plant it. Should take about 4 hours. I showed we rotor tilled it. We planted the first round, and I talked a little bit about replanting. So we had to replant a lot this year from washout, which is when there's too much rain and it'll get into the soil and just wash the seeds away. So we had to replant once, I think, only once. So it takes about 8 hours in combined to plant the popcorn.
And you said that the average popcorn, the plant takes about 120 days to mature. So folks, you noticed that when she was showing the video, this farm operation is a year-round job. You don't just decide to plant popcorn today and harvest it tomorrow. You've been working on this for a while. So tell us a little bit about all the other steps that you put in throughout the year. You planted probably in May. Looks like you replanted in June-ish, maybe, or maybe July?
Yeah, June.
June.
So that's a good question. We have to start planning where we are planting our popcorn. That's a whole other topic of how the farm does that. But with what we grow and seed corn and the way that things germinate on a farm and cross-pollinate, we have to plan where we're planting our popcorn in order of where the farm is planting the rest of their things. So way at the beginning of the year, before anything has even happened on the work of the farm, we have to talk to people about where we're planting our popcorn. So then we have to make sure that doesn't get planted over. We have to and then after that, we just have our plot of land in the middle of the cornfield. And that's when we start rotor tilling to get the soil ready, planting the popcorn. We don't really do this anymore, but we probably should be weeding the popcorn, watering it if it's in a little drought, and just keeping up on it to make sure that there's not any big weeds you just kind of got to be on top of stuff.
And what would you talked about washing out? What other problems does your popcorn face? What other issues do you see with it?
Well, heat and pollination are the other two. So if it's too hot, just like if it's too cold, it won't grow. It'll just dry out and become a little squirmy stick. So you got to make sure it's all up to Mother Nature what happens with crops. So if it's too hot, if it's too cold, if it's too rainy, if it's not enough rain, they both won't grow. Bugs is another thing. You get little June bugs in there, and they'll just eat it right up. They'll just bugs, pollination. We plant our popcorn plot right next to another, which goes back to where how we talked about how we have to make sure we plant in the right areas to not get cross-pollination, but it can still happen where you just cross-pollinate and you get these huge ears of white Holeless popcorn. It shouldn't look like that, but it's just because they've cross-pollinated with the corn that's also in our popcorn patch.
Right. So a number of issues, and it's kind of funny. You're talking about droughts at the same time you're talking about washouts. If we could just plan to get a nice gentle rain every third day or so, but that's not usually how it happens for you on the farm. Got another question about your varieties. So you plant the rainbow popcorn, you plant the white Holeless, and you plant your strawberry popcorn. There are other varieties out there, varieties of popcorn. For those of you who aren't from a farm, let's just think about dogs. There's more varieties of dogs than just shepherds and labs and chihuahuas. They've got a whole bunch in between there. Why did you settle on those three? What drew you to the rainbow, the white Holeless, and the strawberry? And why don't you tell them a little bit about what white Holeless popcorn is, in case they don't know?
I think about why we plant these three. I think we just thought that the strawberry popcorn was like a cool thing, how it looked like a strawberry. When it started off, I think I remember it being the rainbow popcorn was Natalie's popcorn because it was pretty colors and I liked pretty colors. So I think I picked growing rainbow popcorn when we started, probably to my brother's dismay. We had to grow some color, but we also and the white Holeless popcorn is kind of, I feel it's more of a necessity. if we want to start a well-rounded business, we just make sure that we have the main supplement, which is normal popcorn.
Normal popcorn, but this Holeless, the Holeless variety, tell what Holeless means.
So Holeless, like, doesn't, well, have you ever eaten popcorn and it's like got stuck in your teeth? Well, Holeless popcorn is a modified version, which makes it not grow holes, so it won't get stuck in your teeth. So it's just better, I guess.
Right, exactly. So that hull is what protects it. And on our blog site, beyondthebarndoor.wordpress.com, for the teachers out there, I'll actually post a video of how popcorn actually pops under pressure. It's a great STEM activity to stop and think about this. So, so yeah, those are your things. Now, can you tell the difference when you pop popcorn? And this goes to the third graders from St. Mary's School in Taylorville. So Taylorville down in the Springfield, Decatur area. They want to know who the taste tester is in your family and how much popcorn out of that 17 billion quarts do you guys eat there at the farm, Grand Prairie Farm?
Well, the whole family's kind of a taste test. If we're home on a night and we have to, test some popcorn to see if it's dry enough yet, it'll pop and everybody will come running. So the whole family kind of taste tests the Bubba Bug popcorn. And we actually don't eat popcorn that much. For having a popcorn business, you would think we would be popcorn addicts, but we're really not. We eat it when we have to taste test it or to make sure that it's dry enough. So and we also do caramel corn, like exclusively for the people in Amboy. It's kind of a Amboy thing. So that goes fast. So we're more of we don't consume that much popcorn.
So your caramel corn that you make, you pop your own popcorn, then you put caramel on it and you sell it in bags to folks in the local area?
Yeah, we have like a homemade recipe or like a family recipe of caramel, and we grow popcorn. So it's become a thing in Amboy to have some Bubba Bug caramel corn, which is cool.
So Amanda, our fourth grader from Bobin School in Chicago, wanted to know, was it better with butter or without? I think her answer is going to be it's better with caramel and served fresh to you. So I want to talk a little bit about, in one of the videos, you were wearing a 4-H shirt. And for some of our folks who aren't familiar with 4-H, if you want to give a little plug for our youth organizations, tell a little bit about 4-H. And do you do this popcorn as a project for 4-H?
4-H, if you want a little description of it, is let's see, it's kind of like a project area. It's kind of like a youth organization where kids can sign up for projects, anything from showing a cow to baking a cake and decorating it. It has seriously everything, and you'll usually present or take those projects to a county fair, the 4-H and junior show fair. And you'll present them, and a bunch of other 4-Hers will be there. When you're in 4-H, you're separated into clubs by what county and area you live in. I love 4-H. I've been doing 4-H since forever. So I think that if you want to join 4-H, you should definitely join 4-H. But to answer the question about if I do it, I don't do popcorn as a 4-H project. But if you guys know what FFA is, which is the Future Farmers of America, it's an organization you can probably join when you're in high school or junior high. One of the things that you do in FFA is keep record books. So I think that Bubba Bug popcorn I will do as a project when I get in FFA for a record book.
Very cool. Not only that, but let's talk a little bit about the record books. You sold out of your popcorn early. It was just a so-so year. It is awful hard work. We saw you out there planting and replanting. I mean, heck, you were even barefoot at a time. How much work do you put into keeping track of the records, and how much money, think about this, was it worth your time to make money with it? So talk a little bit about the business side of Bubba Bug popcorn.
Well, we keep track for records. We keep track of income, profit, and expenses. So it's just the three basic things with Bubba Bug popcorn. We don't do anything crazy for our record keeping, but keeping track of what comes in, what goes out, and at the end of the year, like chipping off to everybody what they did and help Bubba Bug popcorn, paying things we need to pay for or extra like oil if we're gonna go somewhere and pop the popcorn, keeping track of what Bubba Bug popcorn bought, and then chipping off to pay back to our parents if they bought it. And for the other question you asked, I definitely think it's worth my time. No matter if it was one order that sold us out or if it was 200, just doing this since I've been doing it for 8 years, I think it's just worth my time to, do it because it's not really about the profit anymore. It's just about helping our community and Amboy, and which is a whole other topic of Giving Tuesday. So I think
I was going to get to that. You've already sold out, so people can't help. But one of the things you made a decision to do as a marketing effort, you said that for everybody that bought a bag of Bubba Bug popcorn, you would make a donation to a specific cause. So tell us a little bit about the cause you selected and why. Why is it near and dear to your heart? And were you able to make a donation this year?
So I'll start from the beginning. Bubba Bug Popcorn does this for Giving Tuesday. So you have Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and the day that people forget, Giving Tuesday, which was actually a day that was created by charities. Charities just going out and saying, you already spent all your money on everything else, give it back to the thing that counts. So Bubba Bug Popcorn does Giving Tuesday every year. We've done it for multiple things. United Way of Lee County, the Impact Program, which is an earned tuition for a community college. Bubba Bug Popcorn was actually the first donation to that. We've also done it to Teen Turf, which is a local youth organization for kids in our town. And this year, which is my absolute favorite, is we are giving our profits, or half our profits on Giving Tuesday to the Amboy High School music department. So I go to Amboy Junior High, but next year I'll be in high school, and music is one of my favorite things ever. I play the oboe in our band, I sing in choir, and I love theater. So giving this back to our music department is like my favorite thing to do with the marketing aspect of Bubba Bug, is making sure that we give back to our community.
Very cool. And this is a great question from Bowman School in Chicago. They want to know what inspired you? What inspires you to do this and keep going with the popcorn business? Hello? Natalie, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
What inspires you? Sorry, what inspires you?
I think just being on the fact that I live on a farm, I feel like it's probably vital for me to do something along with living on a farm. So just Bubba Bug Popcorn is just a fun thing to do. It gets you outside. Let's see, why do I do it? And I give back. So part of like a business philosophy would be giving back to our community in Amboy and Dixon, since I live in the middle. I feel like if it weren't for the community being so supportive to a bunch of little kids selling popcorn, we wouldn't be where we are and selling all across the country in aspects. So giving back to our community on things like Giving Tuesday, and if people ask for donations, making sure that Bubba Bug Popcorn jumps at the opportunity to be out there, as Bubba Bug Popcorn is not only a popcorn business, but we're here to support our own towns.
That's really good. That's a great answer. Thank you. So today is actually Family Reading Night. Secretary of State Jesse White, Illinois Family Reading Night. So we're going to encourage you all to go home and make sure you read with your family tonight. I got a question here from another fourth grade question from Chicago here. It says, what do you do when it snows? Chris from our staff, one of his all-time favorite books is Sleep Tight Farm. And it talks about how winter comes up and you kind of button the farm up and get it ready for winter. I got a question here. It says, what happens on the farm in the winter and when it snows? What happens for you out at Grand Prairie Farm when it snows?
When it snows, everything, I feel like it's a rush to get in the machine shed. We have 3 machine sheds, big ones. So everything is put in equipment-wise in a machine shed, and everybody takes a break. I mean, we get to see our family together on a weeknight. It's cool.
Well, Altamont Lutheran asks, what's the farthest state you've ever shipped popcorn to?
Oregon, if we're talking for states, but I think last year we shipped like to a town that's right across the Canadian border. So actually we're
You're an international company.
And we've also been to Germany. So Bubba Bug Popcorn is official an international company.
Very cool, very cool. Well, because it is family reading night, and I wouldn't. What are you reading now, Natalie? And what's your favorite book or your favorite children's book when you were a kid growing up?
Um, Trying to think. I love historical fiction. So, like, if you ever seen like history books like My Brother Sam is Dead or Little Women are good, which is also a movie. So historical fiction books are pretty cool.
Very cool. One last question. We'll get it out here. Um, has your school ever thought of selling popcorn as a fundraiser, or maybe any other things that sell for fundraisers, or like even your 4-H club? Have you used your popcorn for fundraising?
Yeah. We use, like I said, Giving Tuesday is fundraising, but I also was invited to another school. I can't remember the name of it, but a little like about half an hour away from Amboy that I was invited to speak at because they were starting their own popcorn patch as a school to raise money. So that was really cool. So I got to be a little bit of a mentor moment to show them how I grow popcorn and what tips I could give them. So and
Always teaching. That's cool. That's
yeah, and a
cool.
couple times our school has done popcorn for football games or, events. If they've run out of popcorn, they kind of call it Bubba Bug.
Very cool, very cool. Well, because it is family reading night, I want to give a shout out to an Illinois author, our Illinois author, Deborah Rudell, who wrote the book Popcorn Astronauts. And what I think is one of the best books on popcorn, it's called Popcorn Country by Chris Peterson. And even though she is a Wisconsin author, she actually learned all about popcorn by visiting Illinois popcorn farms. So that's going to wrap us up for today, folks, as we head toward Thanksgiving. When we see you again, we'll be thinking all things December, all things evergreens and Christmas. So this wraps up our November activities, but we invite you to join us again on December 3rd. We're going to be visiting an evergreen farm, a Christmas tree farm in central Illinois. Join us on December 3rd for a trip to Helmig Farms in McLean County. And then on December 10th, I got to get my book here. We'll be having author Patricia Tott. Patricia Tott will be joining us. She's the author of the book Pick a Pine Tree. So you got a couple of things to think about. Tonight's family reading night. So everybody make sure that you take a look at different books to read and what's going on there. Next December, as you come back from Thanksgiving, we're going to the Christmas tree farm. And then the week after that, we've got another author joining us. I do know that Effingham County's Altamont Lutheran School, Mrs. Zumwalt's class is joining us today. I'm going to give them a special shout out. They reviewed a book for us, and tomorrow you can watch their book review on our Facebook page and on our YouTube channel. So very special thanks to Altamont Lutheran School and Mrs. Zumwalt and her students for doing that. And there is some popcorn in the mail to you guys, so everybody can have some popcorn as you review your book. With that, let's give Natalie a round of applause. Thank you, Natalie, again for joining us. All this information is on our blog site. We enjoyed speaking with Natalie, the Chief Everything Officer right now at Bubba Bug Popcorn in Lee County. With that, folks, we'll end for the day, and we wish you all a great Thanksgiving. Be well, and we'll see you in December. Thanks.